Yeah, we won't block him? Okay. Rika's
Cure.
Cure with it, Hopeful Eidolon. That would be another scry for Frankel.
You can see he's trying to get through. He's trying to get deeper in his deck, just trying to get this game over with.
Another returned Centaur.
Yep. Gain a little bit of life here, go up to 22. Gonna go reaching for some mana now here. What will be the option here for Frankel? See, he's got a couple options. Consult Hayne very quickly, their middle seat on what to do.
Tons of black mana. Tons of mana.
Sip of Hemlock. Let's kindly leave. And take 2 on the way out as well.
Number 3. Looks like he missed the scry off that one.
It looks like he's going to turn them all. Yep, yeah. And that's going to do it.
He did miss the scry, but that's because it didn't matter.
So Josh Frankel is going to win game number 1 against Chef Pyka. The team of Frankel, Hayne, and Stern back against the wall here. Swatkins, Blesso, and Pyka are currently up. We'll be cutting into another match here in just a moment for you guys. But while we do get that set up for you, make sure that if you're at home hanging out, watching us, of course, we appreciate it, but we want you guys to interact with us as well on the Twitter sphere at SCG Live, hashtag SCGWOR. You guys can join us all weekend long as we make our way through a Team Steel tournament, and then the real fun tomorrow. Standard.
All right. Looks like we have a team. The other guys are also a team, it looks like.
The Ice Imports. The person that you often see wearing this shirt is Ross Merriam. It's a little Connecticut team thing that those guys do out there. Ross is a big endorser of those guys, but you do see another trio of teammates from that store.
All right, so we're going to bring you back over to Stern and Blesso. This is the one match we haven't seen yet.
Oh, let's take a look at those deck lists here.
This one has no green merchants. None. 0. Because they're in the other deck matches.
They're merchant free.
Well, it looks like we might be bringing you toward the end of this. We actually on Blesso's side of the battlefield, we have a Prophet of Krufix on the table.
Yeah.
That lets you play all your creatures with flash.
Yes.
And it untaps all your lands during everyone's turn.
I call it Seedborn Teferi.
Yeah, it's a lot of mana.
Yeah. It's also just very, very good. See everything gonna untap here. He's also got out there, does Blesso, boy, his deck looks good. 2 copies of Horizon Chimera in his deck. He's only got 1 in play right now, but it looks like his deck looks really, really good. Wow.
It looks like he has the Nessian Asp with the Emissary on it, so that would make it huge. Sylvan Caryatid in play as well. So,
you take a look. He's got a Temple of Abandon in his deck, along with 7 islands and 4 forests. Seeing if there's a red splash, he has a Spellheart Chimera in his deck. No basic mountains, of course, but the splash looks like it's pretty easy to facilitate because, again, he does have the Temple of Abandon. He does have an Opaline Unicorn that's in his sideboard, and he does have that Sylvan Caryatid that you mentioned to be able to help facilitate things. As Stern is going to extend the hand in the face of a lethal attack, so Mark Blesso is going to defeat John Stern 2-0. The team of Blesso, Swatkins, and Pyka are up a match and moving along just fine against the Canadians from Montreal.
So, interestingly, Stern has all the white cards, their sealed pool, in his sideboard. It looks that Stern, Hayne, and Frankel just didn't play white between all 3 of their decks.
Now, how do we feel about white as a whole in this format? Is it one of the weaker colors? Is it stronger? How do you feel about white?
In sealed, to me, it seems like it's go heroic or go home. If you look, I look at the cards they cut. You have a couple of favored hoplites. They sure have heroic, but outside of that, it's just, it's some decorated griffins, some 2/2s for 2. Nothing I'm really that excited about.
So let's take a look at this. Take a look at this game state. We got an Opaline Unicorn. We see an activation here on the end step by Swatkins against Hayne. Hayne's got a mnemonic wall. He's got the Ill-Tempered Cyclops in play. You see Swatkins going to analyze the board here.
Swatkins actually, last time we were here in Worcester, top 4 the Standard Open.
Oh, okay.
Playing Jund, because that was a good deck.
Oh, real tough guy.
Real tough, yeah.
Real tough guy with his Jund deck. Okay. I did like him before you told me that.
We see this could be a huge turn. We see a Gray Merchant in Swatkins' hand and a Rescue from the Underworld. Looks like he's not even going to waste time. He's just going to go ahead and send away the Sentry to rescue a Gray Merchant. See, I'm a greedier player. I'll tell you. I would play Gray Merchant and then send Gray Merchant to rescue Gray Merchant to try to win. Remember, those will come back at the beginning of Swatkins' next
upkeep. Okay. Yeah, don't want to forget about those. You see him place them on top of his deck, so he does not forget. Rest of the Underworld. Now, this is the most unique reanimation effect I have ever seen. I've been playing Magic for a long time, and this card is just, like, it's obviously powerful, but it is very unique in what it does. And you don't want to forget that trigger either.
So swing with the Cyclops, and Mismade Monstrous, it tramples over for 3. Swatkins is down to 5. Not for long, though. I think he's actually, this may just be, it's a drain for 3 on the first Gray Merchant. And on the one in his hand, it may be a drain for 5 more.
Yeah, you see the Scholar Vitheros out there doing a little bit of draining. And I think we're going to see a little more drain, yep.
So that Gray Merchant is for 5. And we do have, yeah, this card is just so hard to race right now. He doesn't swing. He cannot swing. It does not have haste.
Does not have haste, you are right, just did come back.
That actually can't happen.
Yep, and you see Hayne's going to point that out to him.
Yep. He does also have Cavern Lampad as the last card in his hand.
Sure.
So, Hayne down to 3 means he'll have to answer the Scholar immediately here, and the Flyer. So there's a lot of, and Brian, in fact, Brian's now up to 14 life, makes both those pretty tall orders.
Yeah, racing is now pretty much out of the question here. Again, Century of the Underworld is the gold card that you're looking at in play. 3 white, black, 3/3 flying vigilance. Play a white and a black and 3 life to be able to regenerate it. So it's a pretty nice flyer. But Hayne's going to keep coming into the red zone here. In comes the Cyclops and the 2/2 first striker. I think he's of the opinion of sitting back is not going to get me anywhere. I have to try to actually win. See, Swatkins is going to go reaching to block here. And the scary thing here too, of course, Matthias, is that this is the other aspect of Gray Merchant, is that with the blocking with it, again, there are reanimation spells to get it back.
Right. Sometimes it's very possible that Swatkins wants the card dead.
Yeah. So let's see how he is going to block, because it looks like there's going to be some blocking taking place here. It's going to be a gang block. Well, it looks like. Maybe not, maybe so. Okay.
Like everything blocked, just saving life points.
You can see a triple block there on the Cyclops, with the Sentry, with the Gray Merchant and the Ophion Unicorn, and then the Gray Merchant's going to get in front of the 2/2 first striker, which, to me, these feel on the surface like pretty good blocks.
Yeah, I don't know what Hayne's plan is here. He has to kill the Scholar and the Sentry.
Now, I think his plan is to try to induce a mistake, honestly.
Probably.
Which is, I mean, you gotta play to your outs as best you can, I think.
There's one mistake. Swatkins did not. Oh, he just let his guy die. Okay. I thought he was going to regenerate it, but he did not.
So there's a drain there from the Scholar. Gonna put Hayne down to 2.
Okay. I don't think he's going to make the mistake anymore. Of the tap 6 mana kill you.
I think he's gonna do that one pretty fast. He's gonna play another land. All right, activate. Activate. And that's going to be it. So Alexander Hayne's going to concede the match, and Brian Swatkins is going to win his match against Hayne 2-0, which means that the team of Pyka, Swatkins, and Blesso are victorious here.
Yeah,
wow.
In pretty short order. I really felt like Hayne and Stern, I felt like their whole team's decks were not as strong, just in general. I really didn't like what Stern's deck looks like. Hayne's deck's interesting. It has a lot of it's it's just removal and big things. That's really not well equipped to deal with a black deck.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a little worried about the team sealed format because I'm not sure what is well equipped to deal with a black deck right now.
I mean, so far we're almost through our second match in our second round, but the thing that stood out to me the most is the power of Gray Merchant of Asphodel, like by a lot.
He's very strong.
I haven't seen any bombers come to play anything like that yet, but This is kind of
I
terrifying.
don't think in, say, your PTQ season, that's going to be as much of a thing. I don't think
Agreed.
people can open that many of them in 6-packs, but in 12 boosters, it seems pretty realistic that your team just will have a Gray Merchant deck.
I agree. It is pretty scary. It really is. So we're going to cut back to the Pyka versus Frankel match. As again, the team of Frankel, Hayne, and Stern have lost the match, but we're going to keep playing on, as it were, get some good practice in, make sure that we do have something to show you guys at home as well, as creatures are going to attack, and we're going to see a trigger here as well.
So Lightning Strike on Sedge Scorpion, to me, says just how good Sedge Scorpion is in this format. It's really hard to get through, and it ate a premium removal spell there.
See if Frankel's going to do any blocking here. See life totals. Looks like we're sitting at 20-20 right now. And there is Sedge Scorpion. Just a 1-1. That's a Typhoid Rats,
It's a
man.
Typhoid Rats.
That's
It's
a boring
green
old
Typhoid
That's
Rats.
a boring old Typhoid Rats.
It's really good.
Here's
Green
the thing.
can't get through it.
Typhoid Rats was pretty good in its format too.
This is better. This is better. But Typhoid Rats was... Black has Typhoid Rats right now. It costs 2, so it's
Yeah.
worse. It has the Eidolon.
So why do we feel so strongly about Sedge? I mean, it buying Lightning Strike, I can't disagree with you, but why do we feel so strongly about Sedge Scorpion?
It's a set where Monstrous exists.
Okay.
So there's some really large creatures that are difficult to trade with, and Sedge Scorpion doesn't care.
A little no muss, no
Trades
fuss.
with everything. Cards like Divine Verdict are stronger in this format because Divine Verdict doesn't care. It just kills an attacker. It doesn't
Sure.
matter if you monstrous it. Sedge Scorpion just kills an attacker.
Kind of like the versatility too, right? Where as you mentioned, it can trade with a creature that has monstrosity, or if you're being beaten down by a Boros deck, like we see on the screen, you're more than happy to have this card against that type of strategy as well.
Just always trades.
Yep.
So this might see. So how good is Grey Merchant? We'll find out. This is a board state which really Frankel has no business winning. Look at this, terrifying. It's all 2 and 3 drops, and then a Glorious Anthem. That's constructed style stuff going on.
You see, Pyka has a Spear of Heliod in play.
Right.
There's a reason for that. There are 2 in his deck,
Oh my.
so he's going to consistently have his team get +1/+1. Now, of course, he can't have 2 in play.
You can try,
Legendary,
but that's bad.
but
Don't do
I
it.
wouldn't do that. But you're going to consist. If we have Jeff on camera more over the course of this weekend, more often than not, he's going to have a legendary enchantment artifact, and that's a mouthful in play. He's certainly sitting pretty right now. So we are going to start the turn off here.
So, yeah, Frankel down to 13, so he still has a couple turns to try to do something. But that 2/4 really won't be trading with much because of Spear of Heliod. And actually, no, I'm surprised that there's no. I guess there shouldn't be any attacks by Pyka there.
You don't think so?
Nothing
Just
gets
place.
through.
Yeah, I mean, just place Wingsteed Rider, just pass the turn back.
Yep, nothing would actually get through the Return Centaur yet.
Wingsteed Rider, of course, being a 3/3 right now. And this card, I mean, 3 mana 2/2 flyer, common with Heroic. You target it, puts a +1/+1 counter on it. I mean, that's just a very solid card in Heroic deck. It's going to make it every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2/2 flyer for 3 with upside.
Yeah.
That's great.
A little hard to cast because white as opposed to singular white, but again,
Most Heroic decks should be capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Most Heroic decks are base white. The second color really is up for grabs, I think, in Heroic. I think blue's the most likely candidate, probably followed by green and red are about the same, but they pretty much will all start on white.
so it's time to take that down with Rika's Cure. Frankel just trying to basically just kind of catch up a little bit here. It doesn't look like he's doing terribly, though.
Keeping the board under control, we see Spear Point Oread drawn from Pyka. Remember, that one actually bestows for 6 instead of 5, so it can't be cast yet. So it'll just a measly 3 damage.
I like those. I like those subtle. I like the subtle things though, like that, where like you could very easily make this be 5 to bestow, like the rest of them are.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the flying one bestows for 5 and the first strike one bestows for 6.
6, yeah.
Because I usually think of flying as a better ability than first strike.
I mean, it just depends, really. I like that there's the differences though. That just like kind of kind of screams to me that there was a lot of there's certainly a thought process behind that having cost 6 as opposed
Seems
to 5.
like the red ones all cost more.
Yeah.
The emissaries too. It might just be because red. I don't know. I don't know why, but there seems to be a development reason why the red ones all cost
Maybe
more.
we just want red to suck.
Red does have
too.
a double striker at common.
Or maybe we don't want red to suck. Who knows? All right, so there's the Gray Merchant.
All right, the game begins. Here's one. Oh, drains 3. Well, that was what Jeff tacked for last turn, so we'll undo that.
Is it a bonfire? No.
No, it is Titan's Strength. +3/+1, scry 1 for 1 red.
Now, how do we feel about that as a combat trick in this format? +1 defense is pretty meh. +3 is pretty fantastic, and we can't forget about Scry.
So here's the thing. It's good at dealing damage. +3 is great. Giant Growth's great. Usually when you play a combat trick, you have a situation where it's either a trade or your creature is losing, and you want to change it to your creature is winning. Because it's just a +1, a lot of times what is a trade will still be a trade, in which case I don't really like the card.
Okay.
I think it's hard to create situations where it makes the trade, where your creature just wins.
Yeah, favorable, sure.
Yeah, that said, if you do get it, it scries 1. It's a combat trick that wins and scries 1. It's also very aggressive, so he's just playing it for damage right here.
If you want to push through damage like he is right now, this is actually 1 mana deal 4.
Scry 1.
Because of
And
the
get a
heroic.
counter.
Yeah, and get a counter. Yeah. So this is pretty good right here.
It's a 1 mana card that targets, so that's why I like it.
Okay.
But +3/+1, unexciting.
But again, this kind of goes back to the conversation we had a little bit earlier. When you have a critical mass of heroic creatures, you're just looking for enablers, and this is a pretty good one, especially if your heroic deck is white-red.
Yep, it's a 1 mana card that targets, and that's not the easiest.
Wow, we put that land right into play. Hello.
Cannot do that faster.
So Pyka kept the land on top from the Scry, from the Titan Strength, and now he's going to bestow the Spear Point Oread on to his flyer.
7 power.
Yep.
First strike, flyer.
Frankel, really difficult situation now. He's
Can't
hitting
cast
at 1.
Read the Bones, which is true.
Them bones are made for reading, and that's just what he'll do.
Go ahead and cast Read the Bones. That's
read
fine.
Read the Bones resolves. See Frankel, the big smile on his face. That's fine.
He's scrying 2, putting him on the bottom.
Draw a card, and I'm dead.
Okay, and then he dies.
Yep. The bones were red.
Yep.
We can't argue that.
I like that he resolved the scry.
Yes.
Instead of saying, well, I lose. No.
Yeah.
Hold on. I haven't lost 2 life yet. First I must scry.
You have to admire that the bones were red. That's important here. Because it looks like the players are going to be finished up with the match now.
We're
at
going
this
to leave
point.
that one at 1-1.
Yeah. Having some fun, finishing up that final game.